West Texas. An endless sea of hot sand, with gusting winds driving tumbleweeds across this cactus country. It can be an unforgiving landscape. But beneath its surface lies one of the largest sources of oil in the U.S. The Permian Basin has provided its share of oil booms, but a menacing side effect is its increased cost of living. It creates real challenges for many locals, to the point of food insecurity. Enter West Texas Food Bank. Serving 19 counties that make up an area the size of the state of Maine, this local hero organization is ensuring that no one goes hungry here.
I think when people think about people who are hungry, they usually have a stereotype in their head or an image in their mind that may be a homeless person, on the side of the street, somebody who's living in a tent encampment. But that's not always what food insecurity looks like. No one wants to admit that they can't feed themselves, their families, their children, their parents. But food insecurity can affect any of us. It can be one disaster, that happens. You've had a car accident, maybe you've been ill, maybe someone has terminal cancer. Those are the true faces of what hunger is. When I first started here almost 11 years ago, we were a very small building on a very sad. It had one dock door. It didn't even have central heat and air. Most of us all had 2 or 3 of us piled into one office, and there was only 20 people on staff. So when we first put this project out to bid and talked to different architecture firms, Park Hill really cared. They wanted to know, how is this going to help our community, and how can they truly help us connect with those people who definitely need our help and our resources?
When the food bank said, we're thinking about building because our building right now is not meeting the needs of the community, and everybody agreed that it needed to happen, but how much should we donate, and what percentage can we donate of our fee and still be a viable company? And that's really what spurred the building community investment in the first place, was this initial food bank project. The West Texas Food Bank were really visionaries in how they serve their clients and their communities. And the back and forth between that is what led to this really high level of design, detail, lighting, sustainability.
RJ has been on the board this whole time I've actually been here. And I think that his dedication is truly about the dedication that Park Hill has to the communities in which they plant their stake and say, we are going to design something here and we're going to stand by it. That's what Park Hill has given us, is be able to believe in our dreams.
Working at Park Hill has been one of the best privileges that I've ever had. When I was younger, I never could have imagined being able to both give back and perform my paying profession. It felt like it was one or the other. Either you had to donate your time or you could make money. But when I got to Park Hill, I realized it wasn't an either or, it could be a yes and.
During COVID, we would have lines, drive-throughs that were wrapped around our building, and we had a gentleman in a white truck. He had 3 kids in the backseat. He kept saying over and over again, I have a job, I shouldn't be here. And my program director kept saying, well, did you get paid on Friday? And he said, no, but I have a job. It was such a hard moment to watch somebody that had worked all of his life. He had saved money. He had a 401k. He had a great job. He had never needed public assistance before. In fact, the only reason he knew to come to the West Texas Food Bank is because he volunteered here. That's why you can never say that you know the face of hunger. It was that gentleman in that white pickup truck with the 3 kids in the back seat needing a food bank. This staff loves this facility. If you think about where we were before Park Hill designed our facility, our dream, we were only distributing about $2.8 million to those 19 counties. I think we are now on our 3rd building project with Park Hill, and they continue to keep seeing our visions and believing our crazy ideas. This past year, we did 14.3 million pounds distributed to the 19 counties.
Before there was even an architecture project involved, we were starting to volunteer and wanting to help in any way we can. And we had no idea that 13 years later we would be helping be a part of the process to deliver millions of pounds of food.
I still remember a letter that was written to me a long time ago, and the little boy wrote, said, I'm not hungry anymore. And that one sentence from that small little elementary kid has driven the West Texas Food Bank to where we are today. What do we have to do to make sure that someone's not hungry anymore?
We aren't heroes at Parco, but we do pride ourselves on partnering with them. West Texas Food Bank was one of the first in our Building Community Investment Program, but now it's grown to impact more than 170 community organizations through the donation of millions of dollars and countless hours of employee volunteer service. Why? Because we exist to build community, and we do that by serving people first.